dimmed lights, hushed whispers, and the eerie glow of your screen. Welcome, dear listeners, to a bone-chilling journey into the dark side of the web. Tonight, we delve into the sinister corners of Craigslist, where seemingly innocent encounters transform into nightmarish tales that will make your blood run cold. So, prepare yourself. Lock your doors, check your windows, and keep your phone close. The tales you're about to hear are deeply disturbing, profoundly unsettling, and they all started with a single click.
Story 1: A Date with Death. According to the chilling confessions of one Abigail Blackwood, she was a mere child of 13 when she committed her first act of murder, an execution mirroring the brutality of the mafia, conducted in a sinister alleyway, cloaked in the perpetual darkness of Anchorage, Alaska. Guided by the malevolent leader of a satanic cult, she pulled the trigger on a man who failed to settle his debts. Her veins were already tainted with the poison of heroin, and her status within the cult was ascending rapidly. However, a court order forced her to relocate and live with her uncle in the tranquil setting of North Carolina. For a fleeting moment, it seemed that Abigail's life was veering back onto the path of normalcy. That was when she crossed paths with Elijah Blackwood, a man whose darkness matched her own. They became entwined in the unholy sacrament of marriage, and together they nurtured a gruesome desire. They yearned to kill, hoping that the shared experience would forge an unbreakable bond between them. On the eve of Halloween, October 31st, 2013, 18-year-old Abigail Blackwood posted a Craigslist personal ad seeking men who harbored resentment towards their wives. It didn't take long for her bait to be taken by one Vincent LaFerrara, a 42-year-old man. They agreed to rendezvous on the ominous night of November 11th. Abigail waited in the front seat of their vehicle, the echo of her heartbeat providing a macabre soundtrack to the evening, while Elijah lay concealed under a blanket in the back. They had devised a chilling code phrase. The moment Abigail uttered, "Did you see the moon tonight?" Elijah was to spring into action and subdue their victim. And so, they executed their plan with terrifying precision. Elijah slipped a cord around Vincent's neck, choking the life out of him, while Abigail plunged a knife into him over 20 times. They discarded Vincent's lifeless body in a secluded alley, erased any traces of their gruesome act from the car, and then proceeded to dine out, celebrating their twisted act of intimacy. However, their freedom was short-lived as they were apprehended the following day. While incarcerated, Abigail claimed to have extinguished the lives of 22 people across multiple states, a claim that remains a topic of skepticism. Story 2: The Blood-Stained Ring. Robert Mitchell possessed a dazzling diamond ring of exceptional quality. Upon listing it for sale on Craigslist, he anticipated a handsome sum of at least $1,000, a financial boost that could provide some relief for his struggling family. When he received a response showing interest in the precious jewel, he cordially invited the potential buyers, a young, seemingly innocent couple, to his residence in the secluded town of Edgewood, Washington, to inspect the ring. However, beneath the veneer of this mundane transaction lurked a chillingly sinister plot. On the fateful night of their appointment, Robert was accompanied by his wife and 2 sons, aged 11 and 15, in their quiet home. He welcomed the couple into his abode, unsuspecting of their malicious intentions. The moment they crossed the threshold, however, the man masquerading as a husband unveiled a handgun, commanding everyone to lay flat on the floor. As the terrified Mitchell family was being bound, 2 additional armed intruders burst into the home, escalating the nightmare. One of the newly arrived assailants, relishing in the power he held, brutally struck Robert's older son with the cold steel barrel of his pistol. This act of cruelty ignited a fierce protective instinct within Robert. Struggling against his bindings, he lunged at the man who had harmed his child, only to be met with 3 gunshots. Robert Mitchell breathed his last in his wife's arms, his life extinguished before the eyes of his petrified children. 3 days following the horrific incident, a routine traffic stop in California led to the capture of 3 suspects: Kenji Nakamura, Jeremiah Ross, and Alice King. Shortly after, the 4th accomplice, Cedric Bernard, surrendered himself amidst an extensive statewide manhunt. The quartet was sentenced to prison terms ranging from 79 to 123 years, a small consolation for the shattered Mitchell family. Story 3: A Caregiver's Curse. In the grim year of 1988, a woman named Deborah Walker was convicted for a daring robbery at a pharmacy in the isolated town of Boulder, Colorado. Nearly a decade later, she burst into a drug recovery center, brandishing 2 handguns like a harbinger of death, and demanded prescription pills. When denied her request, she seized the counselor as a hostage, and for a horrifying hour, she engaged in a deadly shooting spree with the police. Her final act of defiance was using a janitor's cart as a makeshift shield, a rolling barricade, until she was eventually wounded and taken into custody. The judge declared her not guilty by reason of insanity, and she spent the subsequent 6 years in a mental institution, her mind a labyrinth of chaos. To put it bluntly, Deborah Walker was not the kind of woman you'd want to entrust with your care. However, when Walker responded to a Craigslist ad seeking a caregiver for 70-year-old Elizabeth Scanlon in the serene town of Pleasant Hill, California, no one seemed overly concerned with her troubled past. Confined to a wheelchair, Elizabeth required assistance with eating and transferring in and out of bed, tasks that seemed mundane for Walker. Then, in a chilling turn of events, Walker inexplicably stabbed Elizabeth to death. The cold steel of the knife plunging into her frail body echoed through the silent house. Walker was apprehended at a nearby trailer park and sentenced to a prison stint of 31 years to life. During her trial, Walker claimed to have been under the hallucinatory grip of her past, believing she was attacking her abusive father when she murdered Elizabeth. Story 4: From Headlines to Handcuffs. In 2005, Thomas McAllister was a renowned figure in the world of journalism, helming the role of editor for a gossip column at the acclaimed U.S. Weekly. Prior to this, he had sharpened his journalistic prowess over a span of more than 15 years as a columnist for the New York Post. His reputation was solid and respected within certain journalism circles. However, this facade of respectability came crashing down when he found himself ensnared in an FBI sting operation designed to hunt down and apprehend pedophiles. McAllister's dark desires were not shrouded in subtlety. In response to a Craigslist ad promising New York's most innocent, untouched girls, he explicitly requested a blonde 14-year-old girl with a ponytail. The orchestrators behind the ad lured him into a chat room with a seemingly naive 13-year-old named Jenny. Unbeknownst to him, Jenny was an undercover FBI agent, skilled in the art of deception. Over the course of 3 harrowing months, McAllister engaged in disturbing conversations, progressively revealing the depths of his depravity. Eventually, he agreed to meet with the girl, even offering money in exchange for her innocence. The inevitable unfolded next. As McAllister ventured out to meet Jenny, the FBI swooped in, apprehending him in the act. He was sentenced to serve 72 months in prison, his once respected reputation now a chilling tale of twisted desires.